Hey everybody, John Craig here with Performance Plus Tennis. In today's lesson, we're going to cover the forehand. And certainly the forehand is the most complex shot in tennis after the serve. Certainly probably the most important shot that we're all trying to really optimize our performance. There's so many different styles and theories and ideas, but there's one key element, regardless of how you play the forehand, that is so important, and it's the contact points. In today's lesson, we're going to cover the 3 contact points, low, medium, high, clarify for you, show you the subtle but significant differences so you can hit your forehand really, really well from a variety of different positions and different heights on the court. So there's 3 key contact points on the forehand. And the first one we're going to start with, which is our point of reference, is our medium contact point. You know, it's often said that the forehand is the easiest shot to learn, but the hardest shot to master. The reason for that is if, as a right-hander, we just get comfortable receiving and doing things on our right side. So it's just more natural and more comfortably on the right side. And then if you're a beginning player and you haven't been playing that long, you start a lot of rallies. And of course, we always start the rally with the forehand. So pretty soon we start to feel comfortable where we can repeat and control the ball. And that makes the forehand seem like it's a lot easier. But in fact, it's very complicated. And the reason is that there's a lot of freedom. And that's why we see so many styles. From Juan Martín del Potro, who's got a huge take back and nice height take back into his forehand, all the way to more of the compact modern forehands that we see that are very abbreviated, and everything in between. And there's a lot of freedom in here, and that causes what I call wibbles and wobbles, flip-flops and wibble wobbles, and lots of nuances that lead to inconsistency. But ultimately, the most important thing on the forehand, regardless of your style, regardless of your grip, regardless of your stance, all those things, is the point of contact. And the point of contact has to be identified and known and played with intention. Otherwise, when the ball comes, you're just going to be guessing at it to try to get it to go to your target. So knowing exactly where the ideal contact points are and how they vary from low, medium, and high is really, really important. And the differences are subtle, but they're significant to the performance and the consistency of your shot. So why don't we just start out with a basic medium contact point with what I would consider to be an Eastern grip, or just a slightly modified Eastern, which I use, kind of a hybrid between Eastern and semi-Western grip, okay? So here's my grip, and here's my contact point for what I'd consider a medium-high forehand. This is where I'd like to play the ball as much as possible, because this is where we're most comfortable doing everything we do in life with our hands here. We have the most power and control through this elevation here, primarily from the shoulder. So here's where my contact point is, and of course I'm trying to get as close to vertical as I possibly can. My elbow's away from the body. I've got a nice spacing, nice and soft. I can feel the weight of the racket head, and I'm coming in here, and this is the range that I like to do everything, whether I'm shaking hands, opening doors, working on keyboard, driving my car. So I don't want to be in an awkward position. I want to be in a comfortable position where I can deliver rotation and power through my swinging shoulder right through here. And this is ideally where I want to make contact, and this would be the ideal balance or body position for me to be in when I make contact for the medium height. So here's my medium from the side view, and now I'm going to show you my medium from the front view. And now you can see the spacing between the elbow and the ribs. Nice spacing. The more comfortable I can get out here and have a nice comfortable range, the more easy I can generate racket head speed. Okay. Now, you can see that I have a flex in my elbow, and I do recommend that for most players. We do see pros that have straight arms coming in, but I think you're better off having a little flex here, and then you have a little versatility. You know, pros that are coming into the ball with a perfectly straight arm are measuring up the ball perfectly every single time. But at the recreational level, we're going to be playing balls that are a little closer, a little further away, just because we're not so skilled at positioning to the ball all the time. So if your elbow has a little flex in it, you'll have a little versatility here to play different ranges, and you'll take the impact away from your elbow. Remember that joints are protected when they're flexed, and they're vulnerable when they're straight. So if you have a nice, comfortable flex in your elbow, that's going to protect your elbow as well, okay? Another key element at the contact point is you can see that everything that's supportive is behind the racket. My hand, my wrist, elbow, shoulder, everything is behind the racket, so I've got good stability here. This is so important that I'm out in this area, okay? And if you're hitting a topspin forehand, it's this contact point where the racket's naturally going to be what? Rising from low to high. So you can naturally go up the back of the ball and spin the ball. So you want that contact point to be in an area that's comfortable and natural, but will also naturally produce the spin that you're looking to get on your forehand. And that is a great point of reference, is that medium contact point. And again, you want to try to position yourself to the ball so you're playing medium contact points as much as possible, because that's where you're going to be most comfortable and most consistent, generating power and control. So one of the key things that we misunderstand is the distance from the ball that we need to be for the different heights. And now that we've established where the medium height contact point is, I'm going to demonstrate how the contact points from low to medium to high cannot be in a straight line above and below one another. So if I just simply go to the medium contact point where I'm very comfortable, there I am, that's perfect coming in. But then if I went to the low ball, you can see that I would be pulled off balance and I'd be in trouble here. Even if I went like this, I'd be reaching and I'd be off balance. And of course, if I went to the high from here, you'll see how I'd have to be compressed and stuck. So these can't be the contact points. They have to vary in a semicircle in order to be comfortable and keep your balance and your posture at these various contact heights. So once again, if I go to the medium and I go to the high, I'm scrunched. If I go to the low, I'm stretched. So those really can't be the contact points that you're trying to play when you recognize you're going to get either a lower ball or a higher ball. And now let me present where the real contact points are. And now you can see that if I go from my medium, I've got perfect posture, perfect balance, perfect range. And I go to my high, look how comfortable that is out there. So you can see that now my contact point is an arm's length and a racket's length away from my shoulder, because this is really the hinge point, isn't it? So this naturally is creating this arcing quality. So here I am, come to medium, and now look how I just naturally go right to the low. So I've got low, medium, high, and the structure of my arm and the power that I deliver to those spots is exactly the same without any change in my posture. And that is critical to you generating power and control in these three different contact points. Without this knowledge, you're going to be playing contact points. They're going to feel awkward, weaken your power, and obviously cause you a lack of control. And ideally, your contact points will vary subtly from a side view as well as from a distance, depth and distance. So from a side view here, where we're talking more about depth now, here's my medium contact point. If I go to my low, close to me but directly below that, you'll see that I'm pulled forward. So my contact point for the low is not only going to be slightly closer to me, but it's also going to be in here as well. So now I can keep my posture, keep my balance on my low, and my medium is a little further in front, and my high is a little bit further back and further away again. So here's a little semicircle again. And while the differences are subtle, the more closely you can recognize the ball you're receiving and play these contact points, low, medium, and high, again, the better quality shots you're going to be playing. So it's going to take practice, it's going to take time, recognition, awareness, but you've got to know where your contact points are on the forehand to really get that forehand to be powerful and consistent. And for a bonus tip in today's lesson, I'm going to show you something that's really fun and it really helps your skills as well. You know, one question I commonly get from players is, can I hit topspin on low balls if the ball is so low that I can't get my racket head below the ball and swing up? And the answer is yes, you can. And the trick to that is that you're not really going to get your racket head below the ball as much as you're going to come from behind and sweep up and out on the ball. So you're going to be kind of hitting a hybrid spin a little bit, where you're getting around the ball and hooking it, and your racket's moving, you know, from your vantage point, it's moving from left to right and out around the ball. So if the ball's super low, you can still pick it up and spin it, okay? And if you get it just right, you can also get the ball to hook. And you can see it's drawing in the court, and that's what we see a lot of the professional players doing, get that racket head around the outside of the ball and hooking the ball. But it's this action here where the racket head falls below your hand and comes in from behind the back foot from your right foot for a right-hander and sweeps out to that low contact point, out and around. And that'll enable you to hit topspin even on low balls that are even close to the service line, and get that ball to drop and draw into the court, which is really a fun shot to hit, okay? The end result of that oftentimes will be that the finish will just go over the head into what I call the variation finish. That's just a natural product of the swing path you take. So don't really worry about that so much. Think more about the path you want the racket to take to the ball. And you can also see that I'm in a semi-open stance. That's going to make it more comfortable for me to sweep out and around the ball. So that's your bonus tip for today. Have fun with that, and it'll really help round out your forehand skills. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson. I hope you'll take these concepts to the court and really understand where your contact points on your forehand, regardless of your style. You have to know where your contact points are, and the more often you achieve them, the more often you're going to hit that high-performance shot that you're seeking to play and win more matches. Please give us a like, leave your comments down below, and subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. And if you're interested in learning more about your forehand, you can click on the link in the description down below and get my 5 keys, my mini course, the 5 keys to developing a professional quality forehand. Thanks so much for watching today's lesson, and we'll see you in the next video.